This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(1:15 p.m.) This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. State Minister Siamala says that the advantage of price reduction of wheat flour in the world market will be given to the consumers while safeguarding the paddy farmers. It has been stated that 37% of entire foreign debt will expire during the next 5-year period. Allowances for kidney patients, the disabled and the elderly persons will be available from Friday. Minister Mahinda Amarweera has advised the chairman of the National Livestock Development Board to suspend illegal gem mining at the Ambewala Dairy Farm premises immediately. The minister has advised the Paddy Marketing Board to prepare a cabinet paper to maintain the food reserves needed for food safety. Foreign news, India's moon lander Vikram aims for historic lunar South Pole landing. News in detail. The Parliament met this morning. The regulations under the Import and Export Control Act and several proposals relevant to the port city will be taken up for debate. Minister Tiran Nallas said that measures have been taken to increase the allowance of police officials from 14 to 21 days. Meanwhile, Speaker Mahinda Abewardena orders MPs Vasantha Bandara and Nalin Bandara to be removed from the House for today's sittings due to their unruly behaviour. Joining the debate, State Minister Siamala said that the advantage of price reduction of wheat flour in the world market will be given to consumers while safeguarding the paddy farmers. Accordingly, permission will be given to import wheat flour on limited permits. Minister Bandara Gunawardena said that 37% of the entire foreign debt will expire during the next 5-year period. He also said that $36 billion of debt should be paid before the end of this year. The Treasury has transferred 2,684 million rupees to all district secretaries for the month of July for payment of allowances for kidney patients, disabled persons and low-income elderly citizens, Finance State Minister Shahan Semasinga says. Thereby, the allowance for elderly citizens can be collected from the post offices and the allowances for the disabled persons and kidney patients from divisional secretaries from Friday. Last week, the State Minister said until a new scheme is prepared, provisions were set aside to pay allowances to kidney patients, disabled persons and elderly citizens unchanged for a total of 647,683 people. Accordingly, 517,962 elderly citizens, 88,602 disabled persons and 41,119 kidney patients, including those waitlisted in the Aswasma Welfare Benefits Program, will be given the allowance. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Minister Mahinda Amarweera has advised the chairman of the National Livestock Development Board, Professor W. Cyril, to suspend illegal gem mining at the Ambewala Dairy Farm premises immediately. It has been considered that there are valuable gems in this farm premises. Currently, this farm has been handed over to the private sector on a lease and is being carried out successfully. The minister made these remarks at a discussion held at the Ministry of Agriculture yesterday. Chairman of the Missing Persons Office, lawyer Mahesh Katulanda, says that the institution has become an institute that will cooperate in a friendly manner to provide concessions to the victims. The government has provided their fullest support in this regard. While participating in a media briefing held today, he said that investigations will be conducted as an independent institute. Minister Mahinda Amarweera has acknowledged the Paddy Marketing Board to prepare a cabinet paper to maintain the food reserves needed for the food safety in the country. It has been emphasized that the Paddy Marketing Board should carry out on purchasing of paddy in order to maintain the reserves for food security. Currently, the government does not have sufficient stocks of paddy and rice. Private sector has the majority of rice and paddy stocks. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Minister Douglas Devananda says that speedy measures will be taken to solve the problems faced by the fisheries industry. Several problems have been created due to the increase in the price of fish, shortage of fish resources and climatic changes and many other issues. A discussion was held in this regard recently, and that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Live is brought to you by
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers. CIB Vasana. Come today itself.
In Watchlight, people are in fear due to loitering of two wild elephants in the Victoria, Randenigala and Rantambe sanctuaries in Eldenia, Rambukwella and Vagala villages. These two elephants have caused damage to their maize, plantain and vegetable cultivations. They request the relevant authorities to send them to the relevant sanctuaries. And that came to you in Watchlight.
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
In the headlines, India's moon lander Vikram aims for historic lunar South Pole landing. Officials say that Moscow building and 2 drones drowned. Zimbabwe election, voters head to the polls with inflation on their minds. India is looking to make history on Wednesday with its 3rd lunar mission set to land on the moon. If Chandrayaan-3 is successful, India will be the first country to land near the moon's little explored South Pole. One of its major goals is to hunt for water-based ice, which scientists say could support human habitation on the moon in future. India's attempt comes just after Russia's Luna 25 crashed while trying to touch down in the same region. If successful, it will also be only the 4th country to achieve a soft landing on the moon. The US, the former Soviet Union and China have all landed near the equator. A drone has hit a building in central Moscow that was under construction, Mayor Sergei Sobyanin has said. Air defenses also shot down 2 drones in the Mosaic and Khimki districts of the Moscow region, the defense ministry added. There are no reports of casualties and it's not clear who carried out the attack. Russian officials described it as another attempt by Kiev regime to carry out a terrorist attack. Ukraine does not usually comment on who is behind attack inside Russian territory. All flights were suspended to and from Moscow's airport early today, a measure that has been taken repeatedly in recent days. Zimbabweans are going to the polls in presidential and parliamentary elections after a campaign dominated by country's soaring inflation. The day has been declared a public holiday to allow 6.62 million registered voters a chance to vote. President Emerson Mnangagwa faced 10 challengers, including Nelson Chamisa, of the main opposition Citizens Coalition for Change. A presidential candidate needs more than 50% of the vote to win. If there is no outright victor, a presidential runoff will be held in 6 weeks on the 2nd of October. And back to the headlines of the world news. India's moon lander Vikram aims for historic lunar South Pole landing. Officials say that Moscow building and 2 drones downed. Zimbabwean election, voters head to the polls with inflation on their minds. And that ends world news.
Development News is brought to you by
Job opportunities for well-experienced housemaids and home cooks in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait for ages 40 to 58 years. Salary 125,000 rupees. Contact 037 7500 500.
In development news, a program will be implemented to produce humanitarian assistance to the women and children of the low-income families in the Gampa district. A program will be initiated by the Child and Women's Protection of the United Nations on humanitarian operations. Under this program, payments will be provided to 6,000 women and children in the district. And that was development news.
Job opportunities for women from Deshakti Lanka in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Oman. Housemaids and home cooks in Saudi Arabia, ages 40 to 58 years. Arabic speaking and well experienced home cooks. Salary 125,000 rupees. Interviews are now on with foreign agents. You can travel overseas free of charge now. Branches Colombo, Kurunegala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 0377 500 500. Deshakti Lanka Foreign Employment Agency.
Sports news. Sri Lanka women's cricket pool for the match tour in England has been named. Shamri Altapattu will be captain of the 16-player squad. The Sri Lanka national women's team will tour England during this month to engage in an ODI and T20I series. During the tour, the team will play a 3-match T20I series and a 3-match ODI series. The ODI series is a part of the ICC Women's Championship. The tournament will be held from the 31st of this month to the 14th of next month. And that was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දඟපු ගින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
One of India's largest production companies, Laika Productions, have set up a modern film production facility in Sri Lanka. The company, which is one of the best film production facilities in India, aims to transfer knowledge and modern technologies and train Sri Lankans in a bid to boost the local film industry. And that was business news.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දඟපු ගින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. The Commercial Bank of Ceylon has been ranked one of the 10 most admired companies in Sri Lanka by the International Chamber of Commerce, Sri Lanka ICCSL, in collaboration with the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. This is the 5th occasion that Sri Lanka's benchmark private sector bank has been formally named on this elite list, following a rigorous evaluation of qualitative and quantitative performance indicators. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
A few showers will occur in the western and Sabaragamu and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the central, Uva and eastern provinces and in the Mullatiu and Vavuniya district during the evening or night. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. And that was the weather report. Prior to concluding this news broadcast, the headlines once again. State Minister Siamala Pittiya says that the advantage of price reduction of wheat flour in the world market will be given to the consumers while safeguarding the paddy farmers. It has been stated that 37% of entire foreign debt will expire during the next 5-year period. Allowances for kidney patients, the disabled and elderly persons will be available from Friday. Minister Mahinda Amaravira has advised the chairman of the National Livestock Development Board to suspend illegal gem mining at the Ambewala Dairy Farm premises immediately. The minister has advised the Paddy Marketing Board to prepare a cabinet paper to maintain the food reserves needed for food safety. Foreign news, India's moon lander Vikram aims for historic lunar South Pole landing. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.